Let's look over another. Let's get very used to seeing this. Now this, once again, you've seen this one before. This is UJ. Okay, this is UJ on the 65-minute. And again, you should be seeing the same thing. If I asked you to mark up the general, now again, does not mean that you're taking entries, but the general stage 1 and stage 2 delivery on this trending-based market, a lot of you should be able to look at something along these lines. 1 into 2. 1, that ended up being longer, right? Into a 2. 1 into a 2, or that might be a lower time frame 1 into 2 that's made up of a bigger 1 into 2. 1 into 2. 1 into 2. 1 into whatever it wants to do, right? So again, it doesn't have to be perfect, because again, as you saw me do this, you might have noticed that this could have also been a 1 into 2, a 1 into 2. And some traders, some of you, would have looked at this move down as a clear enough flush out to start looking for entries. And some of you may have grabbed this MB as an entry. And even then, as we're doing this, what you should be noticing is, based on your management rules, there's an opportunity that you stay in this trade and you make money, or I personally would have broken even on this, right? And some of you might have entered through the MBs that started forming here, forming here, forming here, over and over and over again, and then created a move. And once again, through those stage 1s into the stage 2s, started new stage 1s that, in this case, because of the power of the initial stage 1s and the accumulations that had existed in the move higher, the wicks and the next stage 1s never came close to any of the entries that you might have taken before. But if you are someone that has maybe one of those faster systems that I discussed, right, and you view this as a clear enough stage 1 of some nature, and you see this as a clear enough flush out, and you start entering, and you enter, let's say, through this MB or this MB here, then yes, although you probably would have made profit on this, if you don't have rules to close out those profits quickly, you're likely getting stopped at break even on the rest of that position, because the future or ongoing stage 1s end up taking you out because you didn't survive the next accumulation. That's all it is. But the next accumulation, flush out, leads to, once again, the buildup of new MBs, creating new MBs, creating new MBs, all of which end up in a new stage 2 delivery that lead to future stage 1s that you would have, in this case, ended up surviving. Because again, as demand truly got validated and as a true trend began, opportunities were made available through the stage 1s and stage 2s. The overall actionable moments of stage 1s and 2s continued to occur. And as a result, you took action when the stage 1 was ripe, after a flush out potentially, as MBs began to build up, or into the start of a stage 2, at which point you allowed mild extensions, 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 mild extensions to be created, to be followed by new flush outs and new hopeful accumulations into new stage 1s and new stage 2s. Okay, and as a result, and just to highlight this, this is a trade I personally had spoken about within the MentFX private mentorship in our webinars, which you all have access to. So you know that it's not like some random thing. Right here. This move right around here, when we started watching this thing for longs. Well, actually, we started watching this thing for longs down here, and then primarily here. And I looked at and sent out a version of this exact move right here through the MBs that began the form right here and right here. And the underlying entry that I actually sent out was the one through this sideways MB, where you enter through the mini MB created here, basically. And you enter here, right? And then maybe your stop is down here or lower or up here, and then you would have been stopped. But in that scenario, right, again, you have new MBs that form. But notice something important. If this was a move that you had entered by, right, you can see based on how you bought this, actually, this one would have kept you in, it looks like, right? Whoops. Yep. So that one would have kept you in, right? Because again, the rule is met for what we tend to see. If I draw a thing across now from that high, you can see as a straight line and make it super, super small. You can see price never returned. Yes, sometimes it can come close. That's gonna happen. The better you get at understanding that prices can really do anything and can come close and can be either like on the dot, you need to follow specific rules that you are making and setting for yourself, because those rules are the thing that's going to make you money. But this is actually one of the moves I sent out, this MB right here. Well, not sent out, but shared. Let's put it that way, because again, you're doing this to do it for yourself. You're in this game to do it full time and to do it for yourself. You're not here to get a random lucky streak of me or anyone else sharing a trade that makes you money. That's not how money is made in this market, right? It's never how it's going to be made. You're going to lose everything if you think it is. But at this point, especially if you've made it this far in the course and you've continued to work, your mind is very likely not there anyway, and you are focusing on learning and getting better for yourself, which is already amazing. Okay, but yes, this is valid, and this can become that valid stage one. Right, so you got that stage two. So you anticipate this is a stage one, especially after a big flush out. And again, you start following the MBs to get long. And those MBs begin to get created. And you get, within this move, you get their own mini, as I said before, ones into twos, ones into twos, ones into twos, all of which, again, provide the same kind of opportunities. Flush outs, moving into accumulation, reaccumulation, to keep moving in a given direction. And then you get those deliveries that never come back to your given entries, because demand is being validated and the perfect structure-based move is occurring with the underlying stage one, stage two accumulations and reaccumulations, right? That's what stage one and stage two is, delivering over and over and over again, all the way until failure. Okay, and again, like you can go into it yourself. You can go look at some markets yourself and start seeing this. Flush outs, start creating MBs, start creating MBs. MBs then either survive or get taken out and you're no longer in the trade, but getting taken out creates a longer term stage one, which creates new flush outs, which leads to new MBs, leading to new MBs, leading to new MBs that either then continue to deliver and keep going for much higher, bigger moves if it has the fuel in it to keep doing that, or until you inevitably get stopped out on either the next stage one that then produces new potential opportunities if it does, or until price fails. God, this fly is going to run me rampant, okay? I think I got him. I think we're good. I did not get him. But yes, so if any of you were thinking that, hey, what about up here? What about these flush outs? At the moment, given what you know, just based on the entry time frame and following stage ones and twos, and the general rules of flush out to create new stage ones, to make new stage twos, and the delivery, all masked within the structure and MB creation, these were all potential opportunities. Yes, including the ones back here, including even some that might look super ugly here. Now, again, I'm going to tell you now as a rule, but you will learn more about this later and as you work through webinars. There is action that might meet the principle of stage ones and twos or flush outs, but may not be clean to you. Clean to you. Again, as I say that, you should be thinking tailored to me, unique to me. I make the choices. I take on risk. I put on risk, or I don't put on risk. And this is a big flush out, right? But this is not a flush out that I would personally trade. Personally, I would not buy this MB. I might consider this MB, but I probably wouldn't. And this flush out, much cleaner. And I would likely get involved in the MBs that form here and that form inside of here, that I would have definitely either gotten stopped at break even on or stopped out on. It's going to happen. And you're going to learn very soon. I'm going to introduce you to the concept now that losses and break evens are one of the most powerful things in the entire market and are very good for your trading system. They're the only things that are going to make you money. And that you have to get very used to taking break evens and losses, because they actually pay for the future wins that bring you to all-time new highs, that bring you into trends, that bring you into making money. So yeah. And yeah, these are great entries, right? New flush outs followed by those MBs inside of there. You can follow them. MBs within MBs, MBs within MBs, flush outs, new stage ones and twos that are fractals potentially, but creating new opportunities, fractal stage ones and twos, creating new MBs, all of which are, again, nested in the MB rules, the anticipation of the higher low rules that you've already learned, creating the initial accumulations that lead to stage ones and twos to the delivery side.